Okay, good morning, everyone. I think we'll pick up where we left off, Senate Bill 3139. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify on Senate Bill 3139? Members, any questions? Senate Bill 3139. Vice Chair.
I'll try and be quick. To the Department of Homelands, Mr. Isla.
Yes.
Hey, good morning. Sorry. Sorry for bringing you back on.
Good morning. No.
Yeah. What kind of enforcement issues might arise with this separation regarding enforcement of state law on Department of Homeland's property?
Well, we have issues of drug dealing, issues of assaults. We have issues, the same issues that occur on fee simple land, but we aren't as a response from county law enforcement is not as effective as we would want it. So having the ability to have a law enforcement agency that part of its mission is to assist the Department of Hawaiian Homelands would improve our ability to make our neighborhoods safer.
So are you requesting that we amend this bill to allow for that and discuss that in a forthcoming conversation with the budget?
Yes, and I would actually offer a suggestion on page 27, line 8. Oh, excuse me, page 27, yeah, line 8. I would just suggest inserting after the word state, inclusive of Hawaiian Homelands, and then it continues with and maintaining public safety. Part of our challenge is in some instances, because we are a product of federal legislation, we are considered federal lands in some cases, but in the majority of the cases, we are considered state lands. So calling the Department of Hawaiian Homelands out specifically will assist us in obtaining a higher level of service.
And that will avoid some of the jurisdictional issues that we see kind of on the continent with regards to enforcement of state law on tribal lands as well, I'm guessing.
It should.
Thank you so much for that suggestion.
Members, further questions? Thank you. We have one more bill on this agenda, then we have one bill on the 10:30 agenda. We have Senate Bill 2532. And first up, I believe we have PSD 2532.
Hi, good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members, Max Otani, Department of Public Safety. We will be standing on our written testimony in support of this measure. Be available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. The University of Hawaii offers comments. BNF offers comments. Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition offers support. The Community Alliance on Prisons offers support. We have 5 individuals from Reliance Education, 5 members from Reliance Education offering support, and 5 individuals offering testimony also in support of Senate Bill 2532. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify on Senate Bill 2532? Okay. Members, any questions? We're going to return to decision making on this agenda right after we hear one quick bill on our 10:30 a.m. agenda. We'll open up our 10:30 a.m. agenda for the purposes of hearing one bill, and that's Senate Bill 3085. First up, we have DOD 3085.
Good morning, Chair Ono and Vice Chair Gannigan. This is Lieutenant Colonel Lloyd Phelps on behalf of the Adjutant General and the State Department of Defense, and we stand on the written testimony submitted, and I will stand by for any questions the committee may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have testimony from an individual, one individual offering supports. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify on Senate Bill 3085? Members, any questions? All right, thank you, everybody. We're gonna roll right into decision making on both of these agendas. First up, we have our 10 a.m. agenda. And our first bill is Senate Bill 2641. Chair's recommendation is to insert the contents of our House bill, that's House Bill 1780, into HD1 And in the committee report, we'll mention that perhaps an appropriation to PSD also is best suited for this bill. Members, questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair 2641 with amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass House Bill SB 2641 SD2 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Bronco?
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Kong?
Aye.
Representative Morikawa? Excused. Representative Tarnas?
Aye.
Representative McDermott is excused. Chair, the measure passes.
Thank you, members. Up next, we have Senate Bill 2771. PSD does mention they're already working on it, and I encourage everyone who testified on this to read their testimony. Nonetheless, the chair's recommendation is to pass it out with amendments. We'll insert our House vehicle. That's House Bill 2313 HD1. We'll also include in the committee report an appropriation of $40,000, which is mentioned in the testimony, and we'll make technical and non-substantive amendments. Members, questions? Okay, Vice Chair with amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2771 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, Chair, the measure is adopted.
Thank you, members. Up next, Senate Bill 2774. We will insert the House vehicle for this, the House version, that's HB 2257 HD1, into this bill. Questions, comments, members? Okay, Vice Chair with amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2774 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the measure passes.
Thank you, members. Up next, Senate Bill 2777. I encourage all the advocates to read the PSD testimony on their progress towards this bill. Deferring the bill would be quite final, so I want to keep this bill alive. We'll insert our House bill, that's House Bill 2435 HD1, and make technical and non-substantive amendments to keep this idea going. Questions, comments? Okay, 2777 with amendments. Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2771 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 3294. I think it's a great idea to scale these great ideas. We'll insert our House version of this bill. That's House Bill 2257 HD1. Questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair with amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 3294 SD2 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Up next, we have Senate Bill 3295 SD1. We'll take the recommendations from the Women's Prison Project on page 3 in subsection B. We'll add one commission member who will be the public defender or their designee. And in section 2, we'll clarify that that commission member can be appointed from anywhere in the state of Hawaii. Those are the Women's Prison Project's suggestions. We'll adopt them. Members, questions, comments?
Briefly, Chair. My thanks to the Women's Prison Project for working across multiple sectors and for your advocacy during this legislative session. I think that this is really a testament to your capacity to work across the community and to advocate for recidivism, for a more caring and just criminal justice system. And we thank you for your work.
Well said. Questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair for the votes, 3295.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 3295 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 2637 is up next. We'll insert the contents of our House Bill, House Bill 1776 HD1, and that includes the YWCA's suggested amendment from today. Questions, comments?
Sure, real quick,
Oh.
I'm still blank.
Amount is still blank. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay. Vice
Member-
Chair?
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2637 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives McDermott and Morikawa, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservation? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Up next, Senate Bill 2640. Of all the exciting ideas we heard today, this one might excite me the most. We will insert House Bill 1779 HD1 into this bill. Questions, comments, House position? Okay, Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2640 SD2 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. Senate Bill 2373. We're going to add one full-time position per the testimony of the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness to this bill, and inserts House Bill 1650 HD1 into the contents of this bill. Members, questions, comments? Okay. Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2373 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 2639. Again, I advise many of the advocates to read the testimony on this bill. Nonetheless, we'll defect the date to July 1st, 3000. And I ask you for your vote on this. Questions, comments, members? 2639. With amendments. Yep, defect dates. Okay, Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2639 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 2770 will insert House Bill 2311 HD1 into this bill. Questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair.
Chair, the recommendation, members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2770 SD1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representative Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thanks, everyone. Senate Bill 2772. We're going to take the recommendation of the Women's Prison Project down. Page 1, line 3, remove the word create. Page 1, line 5, remove the word new. And we'll add in the language from that the Department of Public Safety will expend these funds for furlough programs since the judiciary does not oversee these. Questions, comments, members? Vice Chair. Amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2772 SD2 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. 3 more to go. Senate Bill 3139 SD2. We're going to insert House Bill 2171 HD2. This is the companion bill, and it also included that language to address Shopo's concerns about differentiating county law enforcement, and it includes the Attorney General's amendment as well. We'll add clarifying language that the new Director of Law Enforcement salary will be the same as the Director of Public Safety. If there is a conflict when the new department is created and the next salary commission can meet and set a permanent salary. And we'll take DHHL's amendments on page 27, line 8, as they mentioned in their testimony. Questions, comments? Senate Bill 3139. Okay, with amendments.
Members, the recommendation of the chair to pass SB 3139 SD2 with amendments, chair and vice chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Senate Bill 2532. We're going to defect the date to July 1st, 3000. Questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 2532 SD1 with amendments. Chair and vice chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting no? Are there any members voting with reservations? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. Last bill, Senate Bill 3085, and this is our 10:30 a.m. agenda. On page 3, lines 20 to 21, we're going to clarify that the position reference is, quote, the Secretary of the Armed Service concerned. On page 12, line 14, we'll clarify that the board is the withdrawal of federal recognition boards. On page 82, lines 10, 13, 15, and 16, we'll change, quote, senior officer of the panel to, quote, senior member of the panel. Page 122, lines 6 through 15, we'll move this to section in part 7. And on page 157, line 14, we'll add, quote, or state after, quote, United States. We'll also do technical, non-substantive amendments. This is a work in progress. Members, questions, comments? Okay, Vice Chair.
Members, the recommendation of the chair is to pass SB 3085 with amendments. Chair and vice chair vote aye. Noting the excusal of Representatives Morikawa and McDermott, are there any members voting with reservations? Are there any members voting no? Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.